Greetings and welcome to my new calculus channel. I am John Gabriel, and today I'd like to talk about David Hilbert's hotel paradox. It's not really a paradox, and it's called a thought experiment, but it's more accurately an attempt, or was an attempt, at claiming the largest bowel movement in the Guinness Book of Records. So let's see what David Hilbert got up to. Now, David Hilbert was a disciple of that prize lunatic Georg Cantor and his garbage theory of transfinites and infinite sets. So what we see here in the wiki entry is that it illustrates a counterintuitive property. Now, well, intuition is something I would never rely on. So I suppose counterintuition means it's not a subconscious decision or a subconscious conclusion, which is slightly better, but it's still ultimately a load of garbage because it deals with something called an infinite set, which doesn't exist in any way, shape, or form. So the idea is that you have a hotel with infinitely many rooms, whatever that bullshit means, because infinitely many doesn't mean anything. Okay, infinite is not a number, and infinity is not a number. And so the idea is that as each new visitor arrives, even though the hotel is infinitely full, each guest moves to the next room, and the new guests have their own room. Okay, a finite number of guests because we're assuming here an indexed or countable set. In other words, the natural numbers. It's an indexed or countable set because its members can be listed systematically. But it doesn't mean all of them can be listed systematically. Why doesn't it mean that? Simply this, because there is no largest member. Okay, so to say something like n goes to n plus 1, okay, let's just pull up a little paintbrush session here and listen. So to say that n goes to n plus 1 means you know n, okay? It means you know n. Now, if all of the n's are known, that destroys the concept of infinity, okay? Because it means you no longer have a last or a never-ending last term. It basically means you don't have all the terms. If you say this, and you say that this is true for all n, you're actually deceiving yourself because there is no largest n. Okay, there is no largest n. So you cannot sit down and say, oops, each guest can just go to the next room. That guest would have to know the index of his room. Does that make sense? If you don't know the index, you can increment it by 1. And you can't just say infinity is equal to infinity plus 1, because that's an arithmetic operation which requires numbers. And this bullshit, whatever it is not a number, so you can't add 1 to it. And of course, this defies all the basic properties of arithmetic, which that fucking moron Georg Cantor never understood in the first place. You cannot have k is equal to k plus 1, because the only time that is true is when k is equal to 0, that non-number, okay? So in other words, the only time this will work is if you have a non-number in k. So already, the seeds of incredible mainstream mathematics, academic ignorance, and stupidity were sown with that lunatic fool Georg Cantor and his disciples, Hilbert, and all the other clowns who subscribe to his bullshit ideas. Okay, every mainstream professor who teaches this crap is teaching you about a ginormous bowel movement, which is what they do every morning because That's the only thing they're good at, is consuming food and being stupid. It's their prize characteristic. Mainstream mathematics academics and lecturers are absolute imbeciles. So now there are some of their lackeys who claim that you can divide infinity by a half and then just add one. Well, I don't know how you can divide infinity, because division is a measure, and it means that if you do that, you can actually measure infinity with half of its part. But there is no half of infinity's part, okay? And you do not have a middle of infinity, so you can't divide it in half. Now, the person who said that was some guy. Let's just pull this up. I should have done this before I started the video. But if we go to general here, I don't normally allow other people to look at this. But let's see over here. Where are we? Is it this one here, or is it off topic? I think it's off topic. To see this, you basically have to become a member. Okay, so this little prize idiot here, I think his name is Thomas Mulligan, in this video says, let's just quickly look at it.
It's impossible to measure infinity because if you cut infinity in half, both sides are still infinite. Stay with me for a second. Let's say you just arrived in a new city and you show up at a hotel that advertises an infinite number of rooms.
Okay, so he says if you cut infinity in half. Now, if you could do that, that means you could measure infinity. Do you get that, you stupid mainstream mathematics lecturer? Do you get that? Stop the video and think about that, you moron. Your PhD is not worth an asswipe. You're an idiot. Your colleagues are idiot. You keep on awarding yourselves every year with massive prizes like the Abel Prize and the Fields Medal, but you're all a bunch of fucking idiots. That is the truth of the matter. And you cannot accept correction because your jobs are on the line. You should all be booted out of that profession. You have zero aptitude for mathematics. You're incredibly stupid, and that needs to be pointed out again and again and again, because you don't seem to be able to learn. And that saying comes to mind, stupid can't be fixed. Well, it really annoys me how this absolute crap can find its way into Wikipedia, but nothing about my research, which is the most important research in living memory in mathematics, is allowed to appear on Wikipedia. That's because the grand morons who administer this site have banned me. Now, they will occasionally allow me to post something on here, but it doesn't last long before it's actually taken down. And there you have it. Hilbert's Hotel, the biggest bowel movement in history. And there is so much discussion about this absolute crap. It's not even a thought experiment. It's a fingering of the ass experiment, which is what mainstream academics love. The majority of them are sexual perverts or pedophiles or whatever else. I hate them with a passion and believe that they should all be booted out. Every single one of them. None of them should even be allowed to have a job anymore. They're actually destroying the future of your children and of your children's children and of their very own children. I mean, I showed you once in an email where a professor's son wrote to me and told me his father threatened to punish me severely if he continued to stay in communication with me, simply because I had pointed out his father's idiocy. Very well then. If you're not already a subscriber, become one. Follow me on academia. Click like on my channel. There are many who purposely come here, don't even watch the videos, and just vote them down. You know what this means? This means that you and your children will lose out. Not me. It doesn't matter how many dislikes appear on the video. I don't care. I don't earn anything from this effort. It's a 100% work of love. Okay. I am enlightening the world. I am a genius. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you that what they're teaching you in real analysis courses and in mainstream mathematics courses is not even mathematics. Set theory is not mathematics. Okay. Logic is not mathematics. Mathematics is the abstract science of measure and number. I'm the great John Gabriel, and this is a new calculus channel. Till next time, goodbye.